What's up, guys? To another episode of Over the Top Talk interviews. It's just me today, but as Jey Uso always says, it's just me. So let's get this going. Today I got a special guest, Sodapop. How we doing today?
What's going on, man? What's popping? How you doing?
Doing perfect. I'm going to Florida on Thursday, so looking forward to that. So
You going to Florida?
yeah, on Thursday.
Where you at right now?
We're located in Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay. So not too bad. What is that like? Maybe like
It's like
four
3
hours?
hours, I think.
Yeah.
But guess we can get this started with if you want to introduce yourself to like me and the people.
What's going on, everybody? What's popping? It's the Carbon Nation sensation. Soda Pop NWA's very own, the Prince of Texas.
Perfect. So I can get start with the first question here. What
Yeah.
inspired you to become a professional wrestler, man?
I was I get this a lot, man. I was kind of like I, I was kind of like misled into like being a wrestler in a way. I had a guy who always came over to like my spot, who, like kind of wanted to. He joked around a lot and was like, "Yo, let me train you, let me train you, let me train you," and then I'd show up, never train me, and then coincidentally, like around that same time period, my coaches opened up Dog Pound Dojo. So my coaches are WWE's Jazz and Rodney Mack. So they opened up Dog Pound within maybe like a month or two of that situation going on, and I just jumped right in, and now I'm like the oldest student there at the Dog Pound.
Perfect. How'd you say like before a match you like physically prepare yourself?
It's weird because like all day long I really don't do anything. Like I kind of just like, well, actually just a lot. A lot of the shows that I work for, I do a lot of like backstage stuff also. So I do a lot of like producing, production, or just running around and stuff. So a lot of the shows that I do work for, like I can name like three of the top promotions that I work for. I'm running the show or making sure the show's like, just like production stuff, checking on the cameras, talking to people on the walkies and stuff like that. Then I go wrestle and then I come back and then like pick up where I was going. But if it's a show where it's like very rare where I'm just like on the card and I'm just there, I usually I don't talk to anybody, don't do anything, kind of just like chill, relax. Um, I might do some push-ups, I might try to get a little pump in, but for the most part, I really don't like. I try not to waste as much energy. And then like right before I go out, I kind of start hyping myself up. One thing I do is like I got a nasty chop, so like to wake myself up, I be chopping myself in the chest, and like people just be looking at me in the back like, man, crazy.
Perfect. What would you say personally is like the most challenging part about like being a wrestler?
Mm, honestly, I think it's like getting back up whenever you feel like you don't accomplish it. In wrestling, there's like micro accomplishments that you can use. And so like it could be as like picking up a new move during training or, being able to wrestle somebody that like you feel like is on your list of people you want to wrestle. So I like stuff like that. But I think the hardest part is like when you feel like you failed or you didn't really succeed the way you want to in those aspects. Like there's times where I left practice and I couldn't get a move right, or like I'm like super scared of heights. So it's like sometimes I'll be doing stuff off the third rope that I like really don't feel comfortable doing, and like I'll leave practice and be like, man, screw this, I don't want to do this again. Like but it's just like I think that like the hardest part is putting yourself in that mindset to like move past those little obstacles or those little defeats that you'll pick up on.
Of course. And have there been any like wrestlers that have inspired like your finisher or anything like that?
There's not wrestlers that have inspired my finisher, but I have like Eddie Guerrero is like my greatest of all time, my favorite wrestler, and a lot of his moves or his style is as like you can see it in my style. Especially like my coach too, like Rodney Mack. I've been on the road with him since like the very beginning, since I started wrestling. So a lot of certain move sets or like just the way I think is very like Red Dog. So stuff like that. But as far as like my finisher, Nah, I kind of have like a different mindset on the term finisher. Like I got like two go-to moves that like I'll use like towards the end, but I really don't use them in every match, or I don't make it like this is how we have to finish the match. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
because when you watch a UFC fight, does Conor McGregor, Sean O'Malley, Poirier, do they all finish the fight the exact same way every single time?
Nah.
So it's like if I have a finish, sure, the matches start to become predictable on me.
Yeah, I actually like that you said that because, I follow the UFC too. There's all different types of ways those matches can finish, like knockouts, kick to the
Mhm.
heads, blow to the head, stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting to see a wrestler that doesn't really like have that finisher that you like the fans know, oh, this is gonna end the match. So
Like no,
I
so
like that.
so I have like a Texas cloverleaf. I call it the
Yeah,
Prince's Throne. Like so, a prince that sits on his throne.
yeah,
I'll use that as my finisher, and like so the fans know, like if I lock that in, like that's it. But I don't
yeah,
use it like every single match or like every time that I win. I don't do that. Like different guys have different things.
yeah. That's perfect. Do you feel any pressure when you perform in front of like a crowd?
I don't think I feel the pressure from the crowd. I think I feel the pressure from the people in the back. Like so, I've always been in front of a crowd. Like since I was little, um, I've always done sports where it's like entertainment based, where I've had to like perform in front of crowds, or like I was a dancer growing up, so I always like performed in front of crowds, or I was never shy to get in front of people. So I think as far as like, and then I was a club promoter and an MC, so I had been in front of like hundreds of people before doing stuff live. So the transition to wrestling really wasn't that difficult or that nerve wracking. I think where I get nervous or I feel the pressure is like now that I'm trying to make it to the next level where like I really want to be like on TV consistently, I think I feel the pressure going out there like, is the boss gonna like me in the back? Am I making sure I'm doing what the boss wants? Versus more of like, there's so many people watching.
Of course, and to kind of stick with fans a little bit, have you had any like funny fan interactions?
Actually, not like funny. A lot of my fans have like honestly became a lot like they're really kind of close now. Like I have a couple fans that make me a whole bunch of cutouts every now and then. I got some fans that make me cards. A lot of my fans are really cool. Like I don't think I've had anything that's like a funny or embarrassing like story. My fans are great. I love my fans.
Perfect. Would you be able to like share any advice for anyone that would want to like start wrestling or like thinking about it?
Yeah, I got wrestling commandments. I know that sounds weird. I got them on my phone. Hold on. I ain't trying to be rude.
No problem. I got it.
But yeah. So when I first started wrestling, like you know how there's like the Ten Commandments?
Yeah,
I wrote my wrestling commandments. And it's just kind of like a list. It's just like a list of things that like I feel like if you follow these, your career will really be like a night in a good position. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
is it right here? Like,
All right. Yeah, we actually have those for our podcast. A little different, but it's
yeah.
basically the same thing.
So here's my advice to anybody who wants to be a wrestler. You can plug this is a clip right here. It's a whole reel. My advice to you if you want to be a wrestler. Number one, shut up and listen. Number two, always bring your gear, your merch, and your merch table. Number three, it is what it is. Sometimes you can't control stuff in wrestling. So a lot of times you just gotta go with the flow. So it is what it is, man. Just go with it. Number four, the fate of the match is the fate of the match. Like wins and loss, that stuff don't mean nothing. Don't get too tied up in all that. Just whatever the fate of the match is gonna be, do your best to your ability to do whatever the job they're asking you to do.
Perfect.
Five, stay alive and come home the way you got here. So a lot of guys in the back be like really disheartening because they feel like certain matches didn't go to a certain way or whatever. Bro,
Yeah.
if you're walking to the back and you have no injuries, that's a win in my book. Like We won. We remember that saying in actual fighting where it's like fight another day or like
Yeah.
another day. It's kind of that same thing, the same mindset. Number 6, slap drill. If you've ever been around the dog pounder, Rodney Mack, you understand. That's kind of one of those. If you know, you know. So slap drill. Number 7, know your place and know the pecking order. So a lot of guys come into wrestling and they kind of don't understand like there's like a pecking order. You know, guys who have been here for a little bit longer, guys with some accomplishments, guys who have been on TV, they have a little bit more pull or status or say when it comes to certain stuff. So as long as you know your place and know humble yourself and know like how to present yourself with certain people, you'll be all right. 8, always back in. So always back your vehicle in just in case you got some heat, you got to leave quick. You know what I mean? Always back your vehicle in. Number 9, enjoy the little moments because they'll be gone tomorrow. What I've learned in wrestling is like a lot of guys, they start working for these big promotions or they start working for like promotions with like really good production and stuff like that. And they're like, man, we're living the life. This is great. Enjoy it while you can because at any point in time, I've seen companies fold and it's all gone in like 2-3 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Number 10, F it is mania. That's just, hey, if it's one of those all out, all big matches for you, do what you do. So that's my advice if you
Perfect.
want to be a wrestler.
Perfect. I know next weekend, you got the Crockett Cup coming up. How do you feel with that?
I feel great. Like, so when I started wrestling, so I'm based in San Antonio, Texas. But when I started wrestling, a lot of my fan base got built in the Dallas area because that's where I started refereeing. I started refereeing on TV under the mentorship of Teddy Long. So there was a TV company called SWE Fury. I ref for them, and the people in Dallas kind of saw me grow from being a rep. And then the next company that I worked for was Texas Style Wrestling, and they're in the Dallas area, which is another TV company. So like they saw me go from being a rep to being the inaugural junior heavyweight champion out there. So my fan base in Dallas is crazy. So it's just to be able to perform for a company that I've really like worked my like mind my language, but like if anybody's from NWA or has been around me and knows about it, I've worked my ass off just to even be there. And like I continue to work my ass off just to stay there. So the opportunity to be a part of something in like my home area of where I feel like my fan base is the biggest is honestly just so unreal. Like I never thought that like my career could be this far, this close. And it's all because of my coaches and like the training and like the mentality that I've been instilled with from like my mentors and stuff like that.
Amazing. And we always finish off, asking wrestlers, what's your like dream?
My dream,
Yeah.
um, honestly, my dream is into whether like, so like, yeah, the E, that's cool. Being on WrestleMania, that's cool. But like when it's all said and done, like, yeah, those are my dreams. Like I want to do that, but those are like self dreams. But as far as like a lifelong dream and where I feel like at the end of the day, if I sit back and I really look at it and I go, man, this is the biggest win that I could have had. If I can sit back and pay my bills and take care of my wife, my family, my household just with wrestling and not have to look another way, I think that's the biggest win.
Perfect. And I mean, that's all the questions I got. But for anyone that comes on here, we kind of give them a chance to, shout themselves out, stuff like that. So anything you want to shout out, you can do it.
Hey, if you got Instagram, look me up, Sodapophendrix, HENDRIX, just like Jimi Hendrix. If you got Facebook, look me up, Sodapophendrix. You got YouTube, look me up, Sodapophendrix. If you got YouTube, check out Dark Pound Championship Wrestling Paradox. Every Thursday, 5 o'clock. It's Dark Pound, so my home promotions, own production. I run the production. I edit all the videos. I put it all together. I put it out. It's something that I'm really proud of. So for the fans that are watching, if you can take 30 minutes out of your day, go ahead to YouTube at Dark Pound Championship Wrestling. Check out Paradox. I was just on last week's episode. And if you're on Instagram, show me some love. Thank you.
Perfect. And we thank you because, anyone that comes on air helps this podcast to become what it is. So we appreciate your time and everything like that.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Perfect. And if you watched, make sure to like, follow, subscribe, and we'll see you all in the next one.
Peace.